All right, so I started doing a meditation and writing, and what I came up with is that I really want to find the group of people that really want what I know that I can give. Um, I see and feel whatever intuitively things on multiple levels all at once. And then when I go to put what's the information that's coming into words, what's happening in my head and in my mind that's multidimensional gets squeezed down into it feels like one dimension, but it's really two dimensions. And it's really frustrating because I feel afraid to speak because I never want what I'm saying to be taken the quote unquote wrong way. And I've had physical body issues. My body has shown me in no uncertain terms with eye, ear, with different things, just little things, nothing that even I would need to be worried about. My body's given me the clear information about my worry about being taken the wrong way, being seen as something, blah, 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 blah. And I love Neem Karoli Baba, and his whole words are a minefield thing. I would love to just be able to give my information to people telepathically. And I do have a handful of people who I believe could really understand. There's a group of women that it's like they already know where my heart is. And so I can joke around. They know when I'm joking. Because this whole spirituality and path and stuff, I don't want to make it so serious that it turns into work. Even though it's work, it's like, if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. And so then I want to find this group beyond just a handful of women, and I would love to get off Facebook, but I live stream on there. There's a group created with over 400 people, and the group has a life of its own and a love of its own and a support for the members of its own. And it just feels like cutting that off would just be, I don't know, mean in a way, for lack of a better word. Okay, so just relaxing my whole body. And when I acknowledge what my body's giving me and what's coming to my mind through writing, I feel better. And I still have to breathe, like blow out through my mouth. Still have to blow it out. So I was in a situation very recently where I was surrounded by things that lowered my vibration. I don't need to go into it beyond that. And I knew that I was there for a reason, and I knew that it was all happening for me, not to me. And so I could feel into what's here for me, I guess. It's the best way to say it. Wasn't like the first thought was, wow, my vibration's way down. Maybe I should just go. Okay, came across my mind. And the thought of leaving the situation felt like a no, or red lights, or stoplights, or whatever. And so it was green lights to stay and work with the energy that was coming. So it's all happening for me, not to me. All right, so being in that space helped me see, first of all, how far I have come. Second of all, I could see what I used to be like years ago, and years and years and years ago, and I fought against it, but it was internal, fighting against it. I was fighting against my own higher vibrational reality years ago. And then through giving myself the permission to not be around or be in that environment and everything it held for me, okay, that lowered my vibration. So I had, I'd been rejecting lower vibration, but not having the words that I have now with lower vibration. Just feeling angst, feeling anxiety, feeling just awful, just an awfulness. And, let's see, how would I, so years ago I would have said, I don't like it here, I don't like being here, I don't like these people, oh my God, just so annoyed, really annoyed, just so annoyed. But also thinking that this is normal life, this is real life, and if I wanted to not experience that feeling, I would have to throw away everything, leave every single person that has anything to do with that lowering vibration situation. But I didn't, like I say, I didn't think of it as vibration. All right. Okay, I'm going to relax my belly now. Okay. So from that point, the moving forward point was just me just cutting things loose, just giving myself permission not to be around in that situation, around those people, around that, whatever that was happening. Just staying away from that entire thing. It wasn't easy. I'm making it sound easy, I know, and I'm making it sound like it was easy for me. It was not. It was not easy. But through the course of cutting things loose and giving myself permission to say no to being in a situation I know made me feel awful or anxious, and I'm doing this now with one family member that I've had to just realize that this one family member needs to be ejected from my life. So I'm rejecting this one family member, just one, but it's difficult. And it makes me nauseous. It makes me sad. It makes me nauseous. I shouldn't do this. I gotta go get my daughter from school. Okay, I'll get you in a sec. All right. So sorry about that. Oh my God. Okay. So by staying away from this one person, I can love them so much more. I can bless them. I can forgive them. I can respect their free will choices, and I can love them. Why was I holding on? I was holding on because I should, or because maybe I could turn it around. This person is a person who's like mean. Let's just leave it at that. Mean to me. Mean to me. Yeah. All right. Through the course of letting people go, giving myself permission to letting people go, letting situations go, letting things go, things including material possessions. Because why am I holding on to it? Because I paid for it, or because stories, just stories. They're all stories, whether it's a material thing or it's a human being. I'm related this way. That's my this. That's my that. Or that's my sweater that I paid that for. It's like I held on to things, people and things. It's all the same at some level because I'm Brahmin. So none of this matters to some degree. None of it matters. All right, I'm just going to get into it for the people that I want to build this group. I want to build a group now, and I know it's tiny, but I want to build a group of people that want to understand this dimensional thinking and how much is happening all at the same time. I want them I want to develop a language that I can communicate with these people, this tiny little group, where it's like, so that I can show them and teach them and show them, help them see like how many different dimensions are happening all at the same time. And how amazing it is. How amazing it is. You know, and I've wanted to give up so many times because people are so wrapped up. This is November 4th, the day after the election. My son, my oldest child just turned into a teenager yesterday. So I was all about that and just how neat and been talking to him about, what his body's going to do. And I'm like, now that you're getting older, I said, your brain waves change as you get older. That's why little kids running around and they're like pretending to die and pretending to like one leg or whatever. The universe is not creating that for them because their brain waves are not in a place. And so as you get older, I mean, this is just how I feel it. There's a scientific way to describe this better, but as you get older, your brain waves shift and you become part of the thing that creates everything, that creates the reality. And so I was telling him, like, the whole, my body's not me. It's mine to use. My mind is not me. It's mine to use. He's got friends that are spitting out the mainstream narrative, the Marxist agenda. He's got friends spitting out all the talking points, and I mean all of them. The racist crap, the sexist crap, the misogynist crap, the Islamophobic crap, the, what was the most recent one? Oh, communism is good crap. All this stuff. So he's surrounded by these, they're humans, and I love them. I bless them, forgive them, respect their free will choice. But they're really turning themselves into bots. They're practicing the information. And I'm not afraid of talking about politics. The reason I choose not to talk about politics is because people have taken on the programming of approved narratives. And so I'm not going to waste my time having some sort of, it's a waste of time for me to try and have some sort of conversation with someone who's just going to spit mainstream talking points. So I choose not to. But if I have had discussions with people who are, that are trying to find their own thought process and the way they think and the way they see things. And those people are open-minded, And I'm happy to talk to those people because they're trying to put their version of the world together and what's happening. And so they ask questions sincerely. They're not asking questions that they were taught to ask by some sort of narrative in order to bring about the talking points that they want to share. Because I go on Twitter, I got it. I see what people think. I see what people practice. And my son has a friend that literally wrote all of the, it was like just hearing one side of a Twitter account, just from start to end. And I said to my son, like, oh, and he goes, and part of the tirade was, okay, yeah, freedom and stuff, but it was like, yeah, freedom, blah, 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 and freedom and stuff. And I said, what did you say? And it was in a group chat. It wasn't just directed at my son. It was in a group chat. And my son just quoted freedom and stuff as if it's like, okay, that's like, Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you have your health. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know? And I tell people, you have a clear conscience. Please understand that is it's not a gift because you made choices to get yourself into a place where you're lucky enough to have a clean conscience. But it, it's a gift to you, but it's like so many things. It's this whole my concept, this whole thing about a clear conscience. It's like if you could I want to cry. I want to cry right now because if you could just with me see how beautiful having a clear conscience is. Like what a magical uh it's this blank slate. It's this place to start that so many people, humans, famous people, people that you had heard of, you've know I know you've heard of. I'm positive you've heard of these people. And they've started out into some sort of path and something has happened along the way. Oh my god, I want to burp. I want to burp so loud it shakes the universe right now. But it's like if you knew how many people, how many famous people, how many quote unquote important people would trade places with you in your tiny little life just for your clear conscience. It's such a little nugget. It's such that clear conscience, you guys. This is such a freaking powerful nugget. I want to have a group that can get that. They're like, why is a clear conscience such a big deal? And then I can say, here's why. Like I can say everything, and I can say what comes out of a clear conscience. Like all your dreams can come true. Like you can start from a clear conscience and create perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect abundance for yourself. And when I say perfect wealth, I don't mean you make $100,000 a year. Maybe it's 200,000, but maybe it's 30,000. Perfect health, wealth, and abundance for you is not the same picture for everyone, and it doesn't look like Tony Robbins for everyone. If everybody was Tony Robbins, then Tony Robbins wouldn't be Tony Robbins. And if I said Tony Robbins, you'd be like, yeah, yeah, Tony Robbins. Just like you say, yeah, yeah, clear conscience, yeah, yeah. You have your health. It's like, it's so, when you can see this dimensional reality, and you see the magic, you're like looking through, it's like, yeah, I see politics. I see American politics. I see the politics that I need to see and what's happening in the world. And I pay attention. I absolutely do. It's not like I don't know what's going on. I know more than probably most people. It seems they don't understand. Knowing a lot about politics informs me of why people think what they think, why people go and create but feel comfortable and move into the echo chambers that they do. There's nothing wrong with echo chambers. They keep people calm. I say all the time, calm and center, calm and center, calm and center. And I want to help people create that, like this powerful way of calming and centering. And there's all these different tools and life rafts, And I've lost friends and family that love me. They've just dropped off. Why? Because they're upset that I'm not upset. And they don't want to listen to why I'm not upset with politics or with whatever's happening now. I want to find my group that wants to know why I'm not upset, why I'm not worried about who wins any election. I do understand that if this person wins, things are going to go this way. If this person wins, things are going to go that way, right? I know. But there's so much going on that it's I don't even want to talk because people believe in these things that aren't real. And then if you eat and they say they want to know, and then when you tell them, they go, that's conspiracy theory, that's been debunked. And it's like, you're not listening all the way. Because the end of every conversation that I want to have is, it doesn't matter anyway. You know, I'm sure people go, well, if she's so psychic and she can talk to my dead mother and she can do this and she can do that, why doesn't she just tell us the truth? Why doesn't she just tell us? Why doesn't she says like, oh, the election results won't be, oh, she says, get independent, get a generate. Why doesn't she just tell us what's going to happen? Because it wouldn't help. You really need, it wouldn't help, because then you'd run off into an echo chamber that reaffirmed anything that I say. And it's silly. It's ridiculous to a point of trying to figure out the truth of like, oh, this is the right candidate to vote for. You know what I'm saying? It's like, did I vote? Yes, I voted. Why? I could tell you why, but I don't want to have a conversation because people only listen for the trigger words to launch them into the narrative or the talking points from the echo chamber that they feel most comfortable with. So it's a total waste of my time. Just like Neem Karoli Baba says, words are a minefield. My son's in 8th grade. 8th graders are already doing this narrative speak. It's a narrative speak. And I alluded in a past video that my son was called a racist, a misogynist, a racist, a sexist, and an Islamophobe all in the same day. I'm going to tell you quickly what happened. I said, you're none of these things. He's like, yeah, I know I'm not. And I'll tell you, I got mad. My ego got triggered over the sexist thing. And I'm like, you tell her that it's doubtful because you were raised by a female airline pilot, da-da-da-da. And I looked at my son's face, and he's so my son. He looks at me and he goes, Mom, I'm not going to say any of that. I'm just going to let it go. Now, let me tell you why he was called a racist. Because I think it's important to understand, like, where we are. It's not sad. It's not frustrating. So this kid, online. So everything's online. Kids are not supposed to get together. He's got friends he gets together with, but for the most part, one group, he's got another group of friends that no one gets together. So that group just is sort of perfectly 100% all online. No one sees each other in person. No one goes to each other's houses. They don't even do that elbow bump thing that I freaking hate. I wish people would just stay away from me. If you're gonna do the elbow bump thing because Don Lemon or Chris Cuomo told you to do that, I don't want to do it. I don't mind. If you're not gonna hug me, that's fine. You don't need to hug me. I don't need to hug. I really don't. But the elbow bump thing, fuck that. Anyway, that's just a tiny tirade. But so he's got these groups of friends, and they're online gaming that way, and they can talk to each other through there, and they can play some game through there, and they laugh their heads off through there. Okay. Some kid approached my son through online. Someone he doesn't know. So from somewhere else. He doesn't even know where this kid is from. Said, hey, how about we merge our servers so we can have a larger gaming experience? So my son said, fine. So there's 2 different servers merged, and I don't know what I'm talking about right now. So, you could laugh. So my son's got his group of 8th graders on one server, and then this other group was on another server. But they had access to each other, so they could log on and play games with twice the amount of kids now. So one of the girls from my son's server was looking at the conversations in the other server. Now my son doesn't know these kids at all. It's just live human beings that they can play this game with. Well, 2 of the people in the other server started using the N-word, but they were talking to each other. So my son, this girl's like, I can't believe you're a racist, whatever. And my son's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you know what I'm talking about. They all did the same thing. You know what I'm talking about. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And if you don't tell me, it's going to happen again because I don't think I did anything. Da 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 da. He finds out it's these 2 people talking in the other server. And he looked at their conversation, and they were using the N-word back and forth, but they were clearly not angry at each other. They were just talking to each other like friendly. And my son's like, is this what you're talking about? And she's like, yes. Every day when my brother and my dad leave, I don't know if they're going to come home or if they're going to get shot by the police. I'm not black enough. I'm not white enough. All this stuff. Every media talking point. And my son goes, listen, those two kids are probably black. They're friends. You could tell by the conversation. And he's got no reason. He says, why are you reading other people's conversations anyway? Anyway, so here's the thing. It's like, if 8th graders are being programmed by the narratives, okay, that's what, 13? Something happened prior to get their minds prepped, make a fertile ground in order to plant the seeds of those narratives. Okay, so whether it's their parents or their religion or the news or whatever, or society, okay, whatever's going on. And I won't let my son have like social media accounts. And he's telling me what's happening on other people's social media accounts and what people are doing. I'm like, this is bad. I said, kids kill. And so 8th grade, I said to him, kids kill themselves over what's happening right now in this social media account that you're talking about. They think it's really funny. Like that group, those 3 kids think what they're doing is really funny and they're having a good time doing it. But this other kids in that position have killed themselves. I said, see why I don't let you have a social media account now? He goes, yeah. So anyway, that's just a sidebar. But now, I'm not saying anything sad, and I'm not saying everybody should parent like me. I'm not. But on the way to school, I told my son, because he just turned 13, and I said, your body is not you, it's yours. You need to take care of it. You're going to start getting, testosterone, and you're going to start, getting angry here and there. I said, it's not your body. You've got to be careful in the stories that you create, because as you get older, now you're moving up into a position where the law of attraction is going to start listening to you and creating what you're telling it to create, whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. I said, as you get older here, you're going to start creating. And I see this other kid creating communism as good and writing the whole narrative and the multiple message. I'm like, that kid is going to create shit for himself. He's going to create a disempowered life of victimization and victimhood. He's already doing it, and he's older than my son. He's older than my son, and he's perpetuating this narrative. He's playing it out, and he's writing it out by hand. My son was like, let me read it to you. And oh my God, it took minutes. It took minutes for my son to read it. And it's faster to read probably than to write for this kid. So he spent a good half hour on it of one day. Okay. Oh my God. You guys just hold on a second, because you can't believe how bad it is. It's like, it's not bad. It's just what it is, but holy crap. This generation is already being set up to fail. They're already being set up to screw themselves using the law of attraction. Now, is that bad? Don't let it be bad, because I tell you, like, it's not that I gave up on the human race. I didn't. I just I gave up on the idea that Earth is going to be this, like, Garden of Eden. Because I watched the loudest people trying to create Garden of Eden stuff, and what they're actually creating is more of what they're fighting against. And then you have the other people who are just like kind of stay to themselves, kind of quiet, and they're like, oh, well, there's nothing I could do. I know I'm not a racist, but, I'm not going to stop, I'm not going to stop those people because they'll kill me. And I'm not, and the closet Trump supporters, people don't want to get punched in the face, so they just keep their mouths shut. And then you got Dr. Shiva from Massachusetts, ran against Elizabeth Warren. He showed the Purebright Institute, had the patent on the you know what, and it's linked to you know who. Okay, and now last night I was watching stuff last night just for a tiny bit. Most of the thing was about my son's birthday, and I was talking to people, and I was using the situation to do my own spiritual work. So I really wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to what was happening, but I was paying some attention. And it felt so fraudulent to me. It felt so like this isn't real. Okay, and now Elon Musk says we're all living in a simulation, and that spurred a whole avenue of thought for me, like that's why da da da. Okay, okay, so like if we are living in the matrix, if Elon Musk is correct or if that's the truth, and we're all just being siphoned for our energy, like in the matrix, the babies, they were all plugged in and we're living the simulation. Well, then we're living the simulation. What can you do about it? You know what I mean? Wait for Keanu Reeves to wake you up? I don't know. You know, what can you do anyway? What can you do? Like, my point is, stop fighting against everything. And I'm not saying to just allow bad things to happen. Well, am I saying that? I guess in a way I am saying it. I'm basically saying, stop fighting against. Okay, that lowers your vibration. And just like AJ said, you guys are trying to, from a low vibration, you're trying to affect this change from the bottom. And bottom vibrations, that's all victimhood. He says, go to the highest, go to the top, and pull things up from there. And really, honestly, I swear to God, it's not that I've given up. It's just that I see the trying, and I see where the trying has gotten. And like Douglas Murray says, the train passed the station. And, you know, we all got on the train. We want everybody to be, you know, valued as an individual, da-da-da-da-da. But the people who seem to be pushing for that, right? The people who seem to be pushing for value this individual, validate what they think, or whatever. Those people are the most clumpers. They clump people into groups the most. And they're wrong. They're often wrong, and they're often creating more of what we don't want. But you can't tell them that. There's no point in telling them that. That's why I just want my own separate group of people who get it, or people who want to get what I get. And this is a huge shift for me because I never wanted to talk. I never wanted to talk. I never wanted to share. And I realized today, while I was meditating, just before I pushed this button to start this recording, I realized today that it's not that I don't want to talk, and it's not that I don't want to teach. It's that I don't want to try to teach to people who will just hate me for saying whatever because they don't get it. So I'm not afraid, so afraid to be taken the wrong way. What I really want is I want people who want to know why I'm not upset. that want to know how to not be upset, how to hold your peace the way I do. All right, I love you so much. Bye-bye.